Hello there, Liberty fam, and welcome back to another episode of Crap Biden Says. We had to take a break last week as, after the election, Biden's handlers mostly kept him in line and gave him only very specific sound bites to take credit for every Democrat that won office. Even this week has been tough as they're just not letting him talk to many people when cameras are around. At least, not without notes. Notes which he accidentally flashed to the audience at G20, which provide him with very clear instructions of when to sit, stand, and when he's allowed to talk to people. But even with notes, he called Cambodia Colombia and thanked the wrong country for hosting, even when reading it directly off his papers.
And now that we are back together here in Cambodia, I look forward to building even stronger progress than we've already made. And I want to thank the Prime Minister for Colombia's leadership and the ASEAN chair.
Late last week, he also struggled to explain himself when a reporter asked for clarification on Ukraine and mixed up some more locations.
I wanted to follow up on something you said earlier when you said it remains to be seen whether the Ukraine government is prepared to compromise with Russia. Previously, you've told us the only thing for the Russians to do is get completely out of Ukraine, go back to the lines that existed prior to February 24. Are you suggesting with the word compromise that you think that there is room for territorial compromise now?
No, I'm not. See, that's up to the Ukrainians. Nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine. I didn't have any in mind. You have asked the question whether or not, if I recall, whether or not what would happen if, in fact, after this, I think the context is that whether or not they're pulling back from Fallujah and from the Kherson, the city of Kherson.
You also probably know by now that Trump announced his 2024 run. Biden immediately came out with a campaign video claiming Trump is the one that tanked the economy and that he had the worst jobs and economic record since the Great Depression. First, let us remember that before COVID, the economy was booming. Next, let us remember that it was individual states deciding to shut down the economy and that every time Trump said we had to open up shop again, the left had a fit, saying he was personally responsible for killing everyone's grandma. Also, you can't call it a terrible economy or recession or depression when the guy before you was in office, then take over, make things worse, and then deny that there's a recession. Well, I mean, short of changing the definitions, which the Biden administration did. So, what recession? Speaking of a recession, Biden wants you to know that he allegedly is saving you a bunch of money on your health care, probably due to his meetings with the insulin guy we learned about in the last episode. And you know, those healthcare savings will be a huge benefit when Americans get heart attacks from seeing the average Thanksgiving dinner is up 20% and that gas prices over the holiday are set to hit record highs. But Biden says his economic plan is working. Of course, you can't really ask him any details of his plan and how it's working, as he's taken to sitting and just smirking for a full 40 seconds at a time while ignoring reporters' questions.
Special counsel, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Let's go. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
What's your message to North Korea?
Mr. President, we're eager to get everybody's views on the table on this. That's what President said.
I know, right? 2:15.
Or maybe he was just waiting for more instructions. Make sure to check back next week for another new episode. Check out all of the support options down in the description, including Patreon, Subscribestar, and a handy dandy tip jar. And as always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.